Okay, welcome to Wednesday night Zoom call. Today we are going to talk about closing a sale, whether that means when you're talking to a potential about the business or the product. I found two really good and poignant videos on this topic exactly. I'll link the videos below this recording in the team page, but they're by Tara Castaneda, who's a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus, and Victor Antonio, who was actually at convention this year. He was really awesome, super funny, super entertaining to watch in person, also on TV. He's hilarious. But his video and Tara's were really informative and broke it down super simply to close the deal. So I'm going to walk you guys step by step. This won't be a very long video because it is really super simple. It just takes guts and some practice, and let's go. So from Tara's video, she broke it down again really simply into 3 different steps. I want to give this analogy to you guys. Feed the information that you're giving to people like you would feed someone soup. You're not going to dump the soup on someone's head, right? You're going to spoon feed them. Apply that to your business. You're going to spoon feed information so it keeps someone's attention instead of dumping a whole entire bowl right on top of someone's head and totally turning them off from the whole flavor of Plexus. We don't want to do that, right? We all do in the beginning and at certain, steps or stages until we learn better. But we all start there. I feel like we all, what we call Plexus vomit, and that's okay. Just learn how damaging it can be, and then learn how to not. And that's kind of what I'll talk about also tonight. Is not oversharing. That's step 1 in this summary of how to close a sale or how to close a deal when you're talking to someone to a potential to join your team. So step 1 is don't overshare. You don't want to give ingredients lists on all, umpteen products. Nobody wants to hear like the 5 different scientific names of all the bacteria strains and probiotics. I don't. I want to know that there's 5. I mean, someone out there does for sure, but you don't have to memorize that. Don't give all that crazy information out. You have it at your fingertips, but you don't have to give it to someone. The first time you talk to them about Plexus, that's crazy. You don't need to give all the testimonials right away. You don't have to go into what each and every product does, especially if they're not concerned with something like energy, like some rare animal or rare bird, whatever. Your friend doesn't need energy. Who doesn't need energy? Okay, so what if they don't? You're not going to talk about edge, accelerator, boost. You're not going to talk about most of it, but what if they're like really concerned with pain management? Then you'll go right into ease, right? So most of the underlying information I'm going to pass on to you guys is really just ask questions. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You want to talk half the amount that you listen. Listen twice the amount that you talk. It's the same thing, just put 2 different ways. So what do you say if someone asks what Plexus is? You don't want to go into, again, you don't need to give away the entire world. You don't want to dump the bowl of soup on someone's head. Spoon feed them a little bit of information at a time. You can say, Plexus is a health and wellness company that has products that help with things ranging from weight management, weight loss, overall health, gut health, inflammation, digestive health, pain management, that kind of thing. That's really going to grab someone's attention and say like, oh, hey, I really do struggle with pain. Like I have really crazy sciatica. So, pain management for sure. I can get on board with that. But that's it. What is Plexus? You answer them very quick, concise, maybe 1 or 2 sentences. That's it. And then ask them. Here we go with asking less than you, or asking more questions so that they can talk more than you do. That's important. But then end that little blurb, whatever you describe Plexus as, with what are you hoping to achieve by using Plexus or taking Plexus products? What are you hoping for by using Plexus? That opens up so many doors. there are literally an infinite amount of answers that can come back to you with that question. If someone's coming to you and you guys are kind of talking about the business side of things and they ask you what is Plexus like in the business side, again, don't go into a great amount of detail. Don't tell them, you know, we do get paid 11 ways, so please tell them that because that's super rare and awesome. But you don't have to go in and spell out, for God's sakes, you don't have to spell out all 11 ways the first time you talk about the business because they're not going to know what pay points are. That's one of the ways. That's my favorite way that we get paid because as you climb the ranks, you guys, your paycheck will build and build and build. But they don't need to know what that is right away. 11 ways, it's going to go in one. It's a bunch of jargon, really what it comes down to an outsider. It's a bunch of nonsense that they're not going to understand until they're kind of immersed in the culture. So save the specifics for when they join, when, not if. Save the specifics for when they join. You know, explain what the company is. What is Plexus? What is their idea? It's a health and wellness company that focuses on gut health, inflammation, and blood sugar regulation. Cool. That's all you have to say. Say that we get paid 11 different ways and how it's super simple to make money back on your purchases and the purchases of others. That's all you have to say. How interesting is that too? That really sparks someone's you know, thought process, that really helps them come up with some questions to ask you. And that leads right into number 2. Ask for an answer right then. You answered all the questions, you know, you're having a great back and forth. They ask some good questions. You ask better questions, right, to get to the bottom of what they're looking for. When you get to a good point in that conversation, it's okay to ask for an answer. This is where people get hung up, and this is where we really have to get good at this, because until we do, we're not going to have as much success as we could, right? Unless we ask for something from someone. I don't want to say rarely, and it's really not rarely, but when you're talking to a potential about the business or the products, they're, you know, sometimes they'll say, okay, yeah, let's do it. And then sometimes they're a little shyer, they're a little bit more reserved, and that's okay. That's person by person. Not everybody's a cookie cutter. It sometimes just takes a little nudge. And sometimes that nudge is a little uncomfortable for us because we don't like asking or putting people out, right? So we do have to do it. Ask them for an answer. Are you ready? Simple as that. It's a few words. It's kind of uncomfortable. Practice it a little. You'll get better. It won't feel as awkward. But ask them, are you ready? Answer can go 2 different ways. Well, I guess it can go 3. They'll say yes, they'll say no, or they'll sit there and they'll hesitate. Yes, bada bing, bada boom. If it's done online, send them your link. Give them instructions on how to order. Give them instructions on how to join, whatever the case may be. Done and done. No? Oh, okay. Here's another uncomfortable question, but something that we have to get good at asking too. What extra questions what additional questions, I guess is a better word. What additional questions can I answer for you? And or what's keeping you from pulling the trigger? I love that one because I think a lot of people will opt out and say like, oh, I'm just not ready, or no, it's fine, you did a really great question. Like, they don't want to hurt your feelings. That's really what this is all about. Like them not wanting to pull the trigger, but there's always something lower lying that needs to be addressed that they're maybe not comfortable talking about. So here's where we get to ask the good questions, meaty questions. So what's keeping you from saying yes? It could be a ton of different things. And that's where the information that I learned and from Victor Antonio's video, where I want to bring that in. But to finish up the information that I learned from Tara Castaneda, the third one is the follow-up. And that really kind of ties in with the last bit of what I was talking about in point number 2. What's keeping you from saying yes? They're going to give you a multitude of answers. Either they're going to try and be polite, or they're going to say that money's an issue, whatever the case may be. Say, okay, well, you know, answer their questions, troubleshoot with them if that's the case, and then say, I'm going to follow up with you next Tuesday. Is that okay? I actually don't ask permission. I just say, I'm going to follow up with you next Tuesday. And by God, I follow up with them next Tuesday. Nothing's worse than saying that you're going to do something and then not following through. Sorry, I had a little asterisk and I just have to get off. If I promised you to mail you something in the last couple of weeks, I'm so sorry. Since we've moved, the post office is not very convenient to get to. And I know that's a big fat excuse, but it's really hard to get to with the traffic around here. And but I'm not ignoring you. I swear there's stuff with cards and I wrote you nice notes. And anyway, it's coming, I promise. Okay, so follow up. Follow up with people if you say you're gonna. Say, I'm gonna follow up with you next Tuesday. If they, for some reason, if they have to work, whatever's going on, that's fine. Ask them, put the ball in their court and say, okay, so when's good for you for me to follow up? Yeah, like the book, Meg, exactly. That's what I'm referring to mostly. The book's coming, promise. See, this is what happens. I get sidetracked. Oh, follow up, put the ball in their court, tell them, or ask them when's more convenient for them. That way, you can follow up when is convenient. So you can actually have a good back and forth. So that's the information that I learned from Tara. To go back to Victor Antonio's video, it's kind of not cost objection, but objections that you'll often hear, why people don't commit in the moment. So when we are going back to asking for an answer in Tara's info, what's keeping you from saying yes, or what's keeping you from pulling the trigger? A lot of people, there's some main reasons why people don't pull the trigger right away. And they really boil down to this acronym, and I love acronyms. So think of it this way. MTNUT, 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 okay? I didn't come up with it. Don't laugh at me. It's totally Victor Antonio's fault. Trust me, I laughed when he said it, though. Okay, so in his video, he had a cool little whiteboard. I'm not that cool. I don't have a whiteboard, but I did hand draw. You're welcome. I did hand draw the graph, and there it is. There's MTNUT, okay? Here's the graph. Our job, I'm going to try and explain it. There it is, between my fingers. How cool is that? So awesome, because I'm an artist. The graph really represents your customer's resistance and time, okay? Like this. There's a line that starts really high on the resistance side and kind of dwindles down onto time. So really it illustrates the longer you talk with someone, the lower their resistance is going to be. And the more receptive they're going to be to what you're selling, the opportunity that you're presenting. And somewhere at the bottom, there's that really kind of sweet spot that people finally just kind of break. And they're like, okay, fine, I'm ready. Let's do this. Okay. MTNUT. M. Money, right? People always say money's an issue. Money is typically not really the issue, because most of us, especially when you're coming from a business standpoint, where else can you find a business to start up from the ground for $35? Anybody? No? Oh wait, I know one. We belong to the company. That's so weird. That's crazy. Plexus, that's where we can find a business opportunity for $35. Money is not an issue. Okay, at the most expensive, people are buying into, welcome pack, joining or paying their $35 for their web hosting fee, all of that. The most expensive that they're going to come out of the door is around $250, all that's said and done, or $260, $275, whatever it is, with tax, shipping, and all of that nonsense. Okay, we can save up. We can get there, right? If the will is there, we can get there. Money really isn't the issue. It's a really easy issue to hide behind. Maybe we don't have the money right now. Most of us need the opportunity because we're short on money, but we can somehow come up with it. The issue really is, though, that they're unwilling to spend the money. Not that they don't like you, not that they think the product's stupid. I mean, maybe they don't like you. Maybe they think the product's stupid. I don't really know. There could be a million reasons why they don't want to part with their money. They could have a really cheap husband that doesn't want them to do it. Gee, that's so foreign. That's crazy. Whatever the issue is, it's our job to show them the value because they aren't seeing it immediately. We need to bring to them the value of the product, of the business, so that they are more willing to part with their hard-earned money. Next is time in MTNUT, okay? Time. If I can show you how to save money, if I can show you how to make money, you're gonna make the time. I'm gonna say it again, okay? Time's not an excuse, fools. If I can show you how to make money, how to save money, you're gonna make time to let me show you how to do those things, right? Most of us need more money and more time. It's kind of an evil cycle. If we have more money, we can usually buy some extra time. I mean, we all have 24 hours in a day, right? We can't really add hours to a clock, but money provides opportunity, and that's just as good, I feel like, as time. Anyway, all of that philosophical BS to the side. If you have those things, if you have the tools to show someone how to make money, how to save money, you're invaluable. Then that's a non-issue. Also, to illustrate, there's a diamond in our company. Brenda Martin, actually, is her name. She has 8,000 kids. I swear to you, I'm pretty sure it's like 9 kids, all homeschooled. Yeah, homeschooled children in a 2-bedroom house. Don't tell me anything about not having time. Nothing. Okay, you do have the time. You have the same 24 hours in your day as Emily Roberts has, as I have. We all have the same amount of time. It all depends on how we use it. It's all opportunity. Okay, third one in MTNUT. The N in NUT is need. This usually boils down to what Victor Antonio calls a trigger event. Now, specifically in our business, a lot of times what you'll find is people will not pull the trigger until something is so drastically wrong with their health or finances that they're not willing to jump on board. I can't tell you how many messages when someone finally goes and wants to start the products, they're like, I've got bronchitis for the last time, or I feel like crap using these antibiotics, I'm just over it, or whatever the case may be. There's a trigger event. Okay, they've hit what they would refer to as their rock bottom or some such. Most of the time they are not going to be aware of the need for whatever we're selling or the opportunity that we're bringing to the table. But that's our job. Okay, our job is to let the client or customer, Victor called them a client, but they're both, whatever you want to call them. Our job is to bring the knowledge to them on why they need the product. This is what makes a good salesperson in my mind. This is what I have honed as a skill as a salesperson over the last 8 million years, I feel like. I can always tell someone why, I can always get someone to buy something if I can tell them why they need something. I do brows, right? I fill the brows in after I wax them and make them pretty so I can teach them how to make them look nice going to work, to an event, whatever they're doing. Okay, if I can show them, so say someone is missing half an eyebrow. I'm going to sell them a couple different products to make it look like they're not painting their eyebrows on, whatever the case is. And I'm going to tell them exactly why, like this is going to be a darker color so it looks more real, whatever. I'm not going to go into a whole gigantic makeup tutorial and Plexus training event, but I will always tell someone why they need something because each individual need is different. You're not going to talk ease capsules to someone that needs energy. You're wasting your breath. You're not going to talk about edge when someone needs pain management. There's, you know, it sounds like common sense, and it really is, but you have to spell it out to people. You have to bring the need to your customer base. To segue, just because they see the need for the product doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to buy. And that's where my next one comes in MTNUT. Next one is urgency. Our job is to light the fire under their cute little rear ends and make them understand why now is the time. And that boils down to making them realize that they're missing out financially. I mean, this is kind of really just, well, not really. I mean, it's geared to both the opportunity and to the products. If they're at that point of desperation, right? They're feeling so sick, they're not getting enough sleep, they're getting sick all the time. If they're at that point, if things are so bad, both financially and on the health side, then, you know, sell them on that. I mean, I hate to break it down to that. It kind of cheapens the whole thing, but you can sell the pain as well as the gain, if that makes sense. Selling the gains is really easy. That's what you see all over Facebook, keeping really positive, and that's how it should stay on Facebook. We don't want to say, you know, we don't want to be negative in the face of the public. We really just don't. We don't want to put that kind of taste in people's mouths. But when you're talking to people, you want to bring back around in your conversation, you want to bring back around why what they're buying is going to help them, because, you know, they can't get rid of their migraine through the prescription medication anymore, or their prescription medication is making them feel worse than when they're not using it. Remind them why they came to you in the first place. When they can see that brings value, that brings urgency. Nobody wants to feel like ish all the time. So part of the urgency is in your control. Part of it isn't, I feel like. But just remember, one of the things that I took away from that when Victor Antonio was talking in the urgency part of this was that you can sell the gain as well as the pain. And that sounds really sad, and like you're, you know, kind of like throwing people under the bus a little bit. But reminding them why they came to you in the first place is really important. T in MTNUT, trust. This is freaking huge. I want to throw this pencil so bad because that's how strongly I feel about trust. Network marketing is so freaking weird. Okay, it's strange. Nobody knows how to properly respond to network marketers because they have been done dirty by network marketers. They are sick of network marketers because they post, buy my wraps, $99, and you can make $1 million too. Blah, blah, blah. Nobody wants. Okay, they're going to scroll. They're sick of us. Okay, that's why we're different though. If you are realizing that you're talking to potentials and nobody's biting, be introspective. Ask yourself why. Go through MTNUT. Is it money? Is it time? What is their objection? Is it is it need? Is it urgency? Is it trust? A lot of times it comes down to trust and how we present ourselves to the public. Are we being salesy? Is your Facebook in proportion with, you know, the sales or like the Facebook marketing that they suggest? There's two models. Okay, the really long and drawn out one that I first learned is one that I learned by Rebecca Folks at convention, but the more simplified one is 1 to 4. 1 Plexus post per every 4 personal posts. Are we following that? Are we looking salesy? Are we posting graphics as opposed to personal things? What are you representing? Who is your audience? What is your brand? All of these things. Are you real? Do people trust your brand? That is huge. If not, time to reel it back. Focus on who you're selling to. Is your Facebook audience a bunch of mamas? Are they stay-at-home parents? Are they teachers? Are they working professionals? Who are they? Who are you presenting to? If they can't trust your content, your audience isn't going to care. Okay, so if your issue is trust, start building there. That's huge. if people aren't, coming to you, if they're not responding to your messages, if they're not, there's a lot of troubleshooting that we can do, but a lot of this boils down to trust. And that's not to say that you're doing something wrong. It's that you need to hone your skills. And that's what I'm here for. That's what your uplines are for. Emily, Jen, me, we're all available to you to answer questions. But building trust is absolutely huge. They're not going to buy what you have unless they trust your story. And it's really not the product that you're representing as much at first as it is your story, to tell you the truth. They may or may not understand the value of the Plexus products at first, but they'll buy your story way before they'll buy the product. So just remember all of those tips. I'm sorry to go so rambly, especially get really flustered and crazy at the end. I love talking about trust because it's really the cornerstone of our business and why our customers come to us and why people join us on this crazy Plexus ride. Thank you all for joining in, watching after it's been recorded. I love you. And I promise I'm going to get to the freaking post office soon. If I promised you something, it's coming. I promise I didn't forget about you. I suck, I know, but it is coming. So have a great week. We'll talk soon.